Alright, good evening and welcome to 2020 AK Racing Supercars and the Adelaide Street Circuit. Tonight there will be, from what I've told, 42 drivers on the grid. A full grid here at Adelaide, one of the biggest rounds in the actual Supercar Championship, but 42 cars plus a Super 2 grid running a separate race at the same time. A lot of people have signed up for this series here at AK Racing. And here we are, round one. Myself, Lewis Wedding, will be commentating this evening. I will have a co-commentator, but he is currently having dinner at the moment. But he shall join us later on in the broadcast. Currently, drivers going through a bit of a driver's briefing before the qualifying session. But just to go over the circuit that we're at, obviously tonight, Adelaide, South Australia, 3.219 kilometres, 14 turns. Event type, street event. Where we've got, I do believe, three or four of these events on the calendar. And tonight, 93 laps. It is going to be absolute hell for the drivers. So, while I'm sure there's going to be one or two unlucky people to miss out on the top 10 shootout, yes, there is a top 10 shootout tonight. There will be, after obviously the drivers' briefing ends, there will be a 15-minute qualifying session, followed by a top 10 shootout. It's not so much going to be about making the top 10 shootout, it's going to be about finishing. And with 42 cars and a very tight first chicane here, it is going to be very, very difficult. And obviously the wall's very close. It's going to be very, very difficult to finish. And if someone has a spin right in front of you, you're going to have nowhere to go. So there's going to be a little bit of luck involved, as well as a bit of driver talent, a bit of strategy to pick out or to get a very decent result here. But not exactly sure when it's going to tick over. But as you can see on your screen right there, that is the Adelaide Street Circuit. I'm sure many people have done many a lap around here, as well as watched all the Supercar and even F1 events around the Adelaide Street Circuit, albeit Grand Prix held in a longer version of the circuit. And just going over to the calendar, as you can see on your screen, January 5 today, Adelaide Super Street event here at Adelaide, followed by Albert Park in 2 weeks. Every round, there is going to be 2 seasons in 2020, with obviously a little bit of a gap between this season and the next one. The next one will have a few surprises, and perhaps we might see some old friends from the old car of the future days. But 2 weeks' time, we will have the Albert Park round, the only international super sprint round on the calendar. There will be 4 races, 2 10-lap races and 2, I believe, 13-lap races in that one. Symmons Plains, the first of the many super sprint rounds at Symmons Plains on February 2nd. Pukekohe, the second of the super sprint rounds, February 16th. Barbagallo Raceway, again, super sprint, March 1st. Hidden Valley on March 15th, followed by Eastern Creek, and then the first of the Endurance Cup with obviously the Bend on April 12th, and then April 26th, the big one. Now you'll see there, co-driver Endurance Cup. That does mean there is co-drivers. There was a test event held here at AK Racing just a couple weeks prior, where it was tested out the feasibility of driver swaps with drivers being assigned a certain car, and it was feasible. Obviously, having a better computer will give you quite a bit of an advantage, but it is possible, and it will be a full 1,000 lap event. So that's going to be a long day for myself, and certainly a long day for the drivers as well. But that is certainly something to write down and look forward to. And then after that, we've got the final 2 Endurance Cup races on May 10th and 24th at Gold Coast and Sandown. And then we do not have the Newcastle circuit currently, but if it is made available, we will be running it. But that's why there's an asterisk next to it. Otherwise, it will be substituted for another circuit. All right. Now, as we continue to wait, why don't we go over the grid for Season 3 here at AK Racing. And to start us off, it is our reigning champion, Peter Reid and Matt Cotter for Penrite Erebus Racing. And that's why you see the number 66 is a shade of orange as opposed to a bit of lime green compared to Cotter and the rest of the field. So they're the two drivers the field will be chasing. And then Macca and Cortum, with Cortum being second in the drivers' standings. And I do believe he was the initial Season 1 champion at AK Racing as well. For Tickford Racing, got James Delaney and Lucas. Lucas this evening will be running just a stock blue Mustang. So yes, we do have the Mustang, thanks to the work of Colin Warwick and Kurt Stenberg. So I'd like to thank those guys for getting the Mustang, or allowing us to use the Mustang, and obviously getting it into Assetto Corsa. So thank you for that one. For Team 18 in car 32, we've got Keys and we've got Thomas in car 91 in the 711 machine. In the OS Erebus in car 47, we've got Kurt Stenberg, followed by Colin Warwick in car number 53. For Team Timken in car 10, we've got Ellis, car 93, Aidan Schultz. For Machinery House in car 5, we've got Davison, car 267 is Starrett. For Team Cool Drive, car number 55, we've got Ball, and in the old throwback, Benson Hedges throwback in car 97, we've got Gogi, I don't know how to pronounce his name, there in the 97 car. For Matt Stone Racing, we've got Cahill in car 4 and Hobson in car 71. For Brad Jones Racing in car 42, we've got French, car 76, Parker. Just a point of note that French, he doesn't like being called Frenchie. It wasn't called it. He hadn't been called Frenchie since he was, I believe, in high school. So in the chat or when you're talking to him in Discord, just remember, just call him Frenchie instead. Alright, over the page, and we have Techno Autosport, car 111, Pickford, and car 184, Courtier. Courtier is one of the drivers to look out for, fairly quick on his day, and he'll be hoping to put together a good campaign here in Season 3. For Boost Mobile Motorsport, another one that will be hoping to put together a very good campaign is O'Hara. Certainly one of the fastest, if not the fastest man at AK Racing. Couldn't pick up the championship last time out. In fact, it wasn't even in the top 3 due to a couple bad results. Perhaps missed around and had some DNFs here and there. But pace-wise, he's looking the goods, going by the times in practice at Adelaide. In car 777, we've got Lynn, and then everybody knows delivery in the team, but not the drivers. Car 9, Runch. Car 98, Dominiac. Or Dominiac. Yeah, well, that's how I'm saying it. Dominiac. And then for Walkinshaw Andretti United, car 44, we've got Brock, and in car 77, Rusty Hall. Both of them fairly handy steerers, and they'll be hoping to put together a solid season. For Team Rubber Club, we've got Thomas Lauder in car 13, and in car 185, we've got Munro. Over the page to Harvey Norman Racing Team, car 109, we've got Payne. I believe very late coming in and taking a seat, but good to see him on board. And in car 172, we have Crab. And then for 23 Red Racing, we've got Ross in car 48 and Strinsos in car number 50. For the Bodlow Racing Team, in car 18, we've got Bradshaw, And another one of the fairly handy drivers out there, we've got Duro, who's been setting some nice times in practice. For Monster Energy Racing, we've got Riley Guttison and Peter Phillips again. I do believe these guys have, I can't remember if they won the team championship, but they're certainly up there for a lot of the season. So they will be a pair to look out for in the Monster Energy Ford Mustangs. For Super Cheap Auto Racing in Car 16, we've got Thornton and Car 101 Richards. And then over the page, the final team for Shell V-Power DGR Team Penske. One of the longest names in motorsport. Car 14, we've got Eaton. And Car 88, we have Ches. Alright, well, looks like the server is back up and running, and we're away for season 2020, and qualifying underway. And there we are. So, O'Hara on screen, he's got a bit of traffic in front of him. And remember, these guys have 15 minutes to set a lap to get them into the top 10. And sandwiched in between a couple of 23 red cards there, O'Hara balked quite a bit there. So this lap might be a little bit of a throwaway for him. With 42 cars, that will be an issue in qualifying. I can't imagine what Barbagallo and Simmons Plains are going to be like with 40 plus car grids. Even with 30 cars, it would be fairly busy. With 40 cars, absolute chaos. Anyway, into turn 8 comes O'Hara. I'm sure we'll see a driver or two in the wall on the exit there. Now into the hairpin. Back right on board with the championship hopeful. Now you will probably see a bit of lag with the number of cars on the field. Unfortunately, you will see that CPU occupancy at 99%, probably all race and all night long, as Brock sets our first lap of 2020, followed by Peter Reid 24.3. So both those times not where you'd want to be. We'll probably see times in the mid to low 21s as O'Hara, despite all that traffic, 22.6. So solid start for him. And one of the Tickford cars off there. As you can see, a number of cars out there on the circuit. So you cut back to Andrew O'Hara, currently top of the timesheets. I do apologise for the names, guys, in chat. Obviously, the admins thought that'd make it difficult for me and not give me first and last names here, and I'm stuck with the with the final name, so I do apologise. And you will see drivers probably drifting around a bit due to the CPU occupancy, due to there being 40 cars on the grid. So I do apologise for that as well. But until I upgrade later on in the year, just going to have to deal with it for now. As O'Hara, due to that traffic into the pits, also got Reid in the pits as well. But we'll follow Sturrett around in the machinery house. ZB Commodore, see how he tackles the Adelaide Street Circuit. And straight away, the Rabble Club cars has put him off at the first chicane, and that's his lap done and dusted. And I reckon that's probably going to be the story of qualifying. We got Greg Brock out there right now. He's coming up to some traffic as well. So Ross is on a lap in the 23 red machine, and he's lost the rear end under braking coming into turn 4, but he's managed to hold it, or perhaps there's just a bit of lag, as I think that's Warwick in the barriers there.